1, 2, 3, 4.
What is up? How is everybody doing? Wait, don't answer that. I already know how you're doing. You're living life, man. It's ups, it's downs. Some days you're happy, some days you're sad, some days you're stressed out, some days you're too fucking high to worry about it. Right? That's how you're doing. That's how we're all doing. It's a variety. It's a variety of feelings. That's life. Get used to it. If you're sad today, maybe you'll be happy tomorrow. Just stick around to see it. Don't do anything stupid. Hi, welcome back. It's been a long month for me. I've had to relocate, so that should explain the hiatus there. It's a little hard to operate without a studio. We can blame poor decision making on that entirely. I wouldn't say I'm to blame for all of it. It's a small chunk of it for sure, but circumstances happen, you guys. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are going through trials and tribulations, and if you make it through and you don't die, essentially, you will get stronger. I promise you. It's just gonna happen. You just gotta grab life by the taint. I got to talk to ClutterCulture last month, and it's taken me a while to get this out. They haven't released their third EP yet, which is the third installation to their little collection they have here. They've got the Unself, which is the first one. And you guys can go back. It's episode 11. It's really a great EP. The next one is Ego, and we kind of sampled a little bit of Ego. I did a review, a little special episode on, I reviewed that myself, and then I sprinkled a little bit of it into the radio show, but today I'm actually going to put the entire Ego EP in here, sprinkled into the interview as we do. I'm looking for new ways to make this a variety show, so if anybody wants to come on and talk about music with me, true music lovers, I hear that all the time. I love music. Oh my God, I love music. But I can't ever get anybody to come talk to me about it. So it's like you love it in secret. I want to have a love affair with your music. So let's talk about it. And if you know a really good band that's coming up that nobody knows who they are, I definitely want to talk to them because I genuinely love music. I love to shout it from the rooftops who I love. I like to share that because it's evolving constantly. I mean, the more we hear this music, it changes its message and it's relevant to different times in our lives, and that's why I love music. Is it means something different all the time, and it's such a privilege for me. Even bands that nobody knows, it's a privilege for me to talk to them and get their story. And I would like to think that it's your privilege to have it in this platform for free. I feel like we're living in such a washy time, where everywhere you turn, somebody's trying to entertain you. And most times that entertainment is bullshit. It's commercial driven and it's scripted. And our podcast doesn't have any sponsors. It doesn't have a bunch of people producing it and putting stuff together. It genuinely is just me booking whoever I can talk to and trying to extract their story to give you, the listening audience. So that's why it's a privilege on both ends there. I feel like we're living in a very hectic time for entertainment, but I want to be a breath of fresh air. So I'm going to keep doing this shit, man. I'm going to keep talking to these bands, whatever genre that I come across, and I like it, and I feel like it's genuine and it's quality. I'm going to bring it to you. I can't promise you that I'm going to do it every 2 weeks. I've obviously broken that promise a couple of times in the last year. in the last 10 months I've been doing this podcast, and this is episode number 21. I faltered a little bit, but honestly, I'm working at a pace that's comfortable for me. And I really thank the people that are downloading this and sharing it, and the people around locally here in Bandera where I'm at that allow me to put my business cards and my stickers out, and I feel like it helps just a little bit. One thing that would really help is you guys sharing stuff. But I don't want to bore you, so let's get into ClutterCulture. Enjoy the show.
Lucifer, son of the morning, the lost son of God got orphaned. I broke my way out of boredom.
My own awareness and complex is luring me straight into a manic state where I'm just furiously trying to cure and secure myself from insecurities and be a piece of shit in pursuit of truth and purity. I feel too much, maybe in the middle, feel too little. I feel too little, small-minded, ill-will and still considered. A bitter kid with a trigger and will to deliver a piece of my withering confidence at a couple's dinner. I feel my thoughts with I don't really like my figured I need an epiphany to see that my heart should be bigger. An idealist, but my Robin still got arrows in the quiver. I wanna be brave, but it seems that I can only shake and shiver. I froze myself out at the center, I am shook. I have realized I'm not half as cool as I look. The hair and the tats was half of what it took. Cause in my face you can read War and Peace like a book.
My hall of mirrors have 100 eyes, but only 2 are looking back. I wonder why. Hey you, hey beautiful.
Congested my demons and came over monsters. Pondering, I should make an effort and with some stretch I used to a suplex as a subject just to contest the complex complexity of complex compressed into concepts. Consensually fucked 20 girls in a year like a contest. A piece of SNM while my whole soul was in bondage. The content of the story was mongering for something honest. Hence, conscious that myself was my final conquest. I went completely bonkers from seeing my own prize. Thanks to the answers and insights through all the known lies. I got to know myself but still ignoring wrong signs. Because as of now it seems that wherever I go I contemplate how to turn common good to common great. But it doesn't matter how much I'm trying to compensate for being conceited. But it seems that I come to a state where my complex turn to smugness after self-hate.
My hall of mirrors have 100 eyes, but only 2 are looking back. I wonder why. Hey you, hey beautiful.
Lucifer, son of the morning, the lost son of God got orphaned. I broke my way out of boredom.
Lucifer, son of the morning, the lost son of God got orphaned. I broke my way out of boredom. Lucifer, son of the morning, the lost son of God got orphaned. I broke my way out of boredom. Lucifer, son of the morning, the lost son of God got orphaned. I broke my way out of boredom.
I looked in the mirror, my smile is the meanest. Believers see a mixture between myself, Jesus and Narcissus. I lie down in my own lap and wish it was contagious. Seducing and kissing myself for no reason. The more confident I grow, the more I grow radical. What's God got to do with it? He can go damn it all. Got a man in my art and speaking no man in God. With my God complex I became megalomaniacal. realize it as identity crisis takes a blow. No more saying this is what I am, so you could be a million things, but I know one thing you could be. You could be God. You could be God. You could be God. You could be God. Your rendezvous was to run to what you hardly knew, in order to know yourself, but it's only partly true. Your part is through and your dreams can fit through the needle's eye, and the need to fight desires turn into a needless fight. But I know one thing you could be. You could be God. You could be God. You could be God. You could be God.
All right.
Alrighty.
We still good?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know what the hell was happening last time. I was getting nothing.
Yeah. That's our fault.
Well,
we figured it out.
Wrong inputs.
we're not gonna throw the blame at you.
We take it.
Awesome, man. Well, great to talk to you once again. Very good to close the gap between the oceans and talk about some jams. I love it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Man, we have a lot of delay today. It's like 5 seconds, I think. So,
At least.
Yeah.
well, we're gonna pace this then. So, answer me this: you're balls deep in production of part 3, yes?
Yeah, we are currently, as of yesterday and today, we're right now recording the grande finale of the whole series, which will be a pretty elaborate collaboration between several parties.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm very anxious.
We have a singer from Spanish singer here in Sweden, and a Swedish girl. And then we have a girl from New York.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting, collaborating with different people all over the world.
How does it feel to be kind of putting it to an end? You know, kind of closing the book on this project?
Well, you can production-wise, it's more on your table right now.
Yeah, it's my job to finish it up, but I guess it's a good feeling. But I'm really excited to get on with the next vision, because it's fun to work with several projects into a whole, into a larger. You get the larger picture. Instead of making an LP, you can input several ideas across multiple projects. So it's a kind of middle ground. I don't know.
And for me, as far as writing comes, it's heaven sent, really. To I've really enjoyed writing these 3 parts, but it's gonna be nice to move on and discuss some other topics than identity.
Yeah. It's really cool that you didn't Game of Thrones this, though. You know, I mean, you worked really hard on this stuff, and you separated it, and you made it. I mean, I've listened to both of them consistently and consecutively, and you didn't just like leave us all hanging. You know, like, oh, we're making something, you guys. Like, now you genuinely were making something, and it was genuinely worth the little wait. Like, I mean, you could have stretched it even, but I'm glad you didn't. As a fan, I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, and the third part will tie it all together, so that will not leave you hanging either. So it will be conclusive and keeping to the point right up until the end.
Well,
yeah, it's not fun for us either. dragging things out. We just want to get it out.
That's what
It's
I was.
like-
Yeah, that's what I
It's
was
like
gonna say.
tickling. Yeah.
Yeah, you're excited. We're all excited.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. Let's see. I just have like a million things floating around in my head. What Lucio? Who's Lucio? Explain this. Let's just go right there.
Yeah, we can start with there. The name Lucio, actually, it comes from the sample that Freddie used for making the beat. Was named something of the sort, and I just went with it. And turns out that Lucio is a Portuguese name meaning the enlightened one.
So kind of a fictional
So I just
character?
spun with So I kind of just spun with that, really.
Sort of the higher power, in essence.
Maybe so. I think what they mean more is the at leleast from my interpretation, it was more kind of a Renaissance feeling. A bit of Voltaire, maybe.
Yeah, I always try to pick apart lyrics. That's what I do. And Bo always tries to pick apart production, and I feel like he's never listening to the lyrics at all. But
Not at all. Not ever. Lyrics are just incidental to me.
yeah, and so I mean, as we're listening to the album the other day to review it, it had probably been maybe my third time of listening to it all the way, and I pulled up the lyrics. I noticed that you guys had posted those on the Bandcamp. I don't think they were there right away, but I looked at them and they were all there, and I got to really know the stories and see how well you really did separate ego from the unself. So I guess the higher power thing, it's funny because that's subjective too. So your enlightened one could be anybody really that you look up to. Did I?
Yeah, and that's kind of what the track is all about. That you cannot. What this whole album is about in comparison to Unself is that Unself explores our identities as a society. Meanwhile, this explores our identity internally. So the whole purpose of knowing Lucio is that unless you get to really get in touch with your own powers and your own knowledge, know the true self.
Well, we cut out just a little bit there, but actually
Yeah,
we got most of that. So.
All right, that first song you heard was Complex/God, and this song is Knowing Lucio off of the Ego EP.
I just wanna stick around with you. I just wanna stick around with you, it's bound. I could never sit down with you. I could never sit down with you without knowing Lucio. Try to devote myself to be something abstract, obstructing growth, and I will have to take the backlash. When I would go back home, it would hit me smack dab. Until I grow a backbone, life is staged by backstab. I just wanna stick around with you. I just wanna stick around with you, it's bound. I could never sit down with you. I could never sit down with you without knowing Lucio, 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 knowing Lucio. I recognize my qualities and quantity of fucker. I recognize my quarrels, beefs, I used to be so stuck up. I recognize in quarantine where I was sitting tucked up. I recognize that everybody else has been enough. I just wanna stick around with you. I just wanna stick around with you, it's bound. I could never sit down with you. I could never sit down with you without knowing Lucio, knowing Lucio, knowing Lucio, knowing Lucio.
Dude, technology's been so good to us, you guys. I know there's a little bit of a delay, and maybe sometimes, but I've been having the worst luck with these interviews and just like keeping a connection. It's awesome. Like you guys have super dope internet.
Yeah. It seems so.
So there's I guess a close to this project. You guys, I know that you're not going to stop, but is there going to be something in the makes that we can expect soon, or is this going to be the point where you do the whole mid-season finale kind of thing, and then we have to wait for a full-length LP down the road?
No, not at all.
No, we're planning to keep the EPs going for quite a while because we enjoy that form.
Have you done any shows?
Project form.
No,
we
not at all.
Not at all, actually, because we like to focus on finding our voice and getting the production down and stuff like that. So we haven't tried to perform.
When you envision
No.
a show, do you guys is there a lot of visual aspect that you imagine going into your production? Is that maybe part of the reason why you're holding off as well?
We haven't even really discussed that properly. In my vision, it's not a lot of it. It's pretty, I'm visualizing jazz bar.
Yeah, something like that. But I have trouble visualizing. I mean, the presentable aspect of it is hard, and we've been caught up in the music as well, so we haven't given it too much thought either.
I think that's worked for you. There's so much focus in that music, and you can really hear it. So, I mean, I love that. It's fascinating on one hand to me that you guys haven't even like thought about what your live show is going to look like, because most people want to make their stuff and they want to get out there. I love how you just kind of used your social media platforms to say what you want to say with your music, and you focused on that, because, I mean, to anybody that hasn't heard this music, there's a level of focus that went into all parts of the production of whatever you've put out so far, and I couldn't imagine your live show not your focus and all that not applying to your live show. So I think that's going to be just as cool. I hope I didn't put a lot of pressure on you with that, but I think that'll come to you as well once you start focusing on that and not the music for a minute. I think you'll handle it.
Yeah, as well as I believe that before it's worth considering, you need to build up a strong repertoire, and as of now, we don't have enough material out to fill an hour,
or enough people to play it to.
Yeah, and mainly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always that. Yeah. That's just so. Man, I've been playing shows for way longer, I think, than I've ever spent in a studio or just actually writing songs. I love getting out on stage, but for the most part, it is just handfuls of people, because I think the biggest part of getting people to your show is having really good promoters, and those, they cost a lot of money, so you're doing the right thing, building a repertoire. Yeah, I think another way people do that, though, is by simply performing in front of tiny handfuls of people and just blowing the pipes, just talking to people one-on-one all the time. So
yeah, and it's the thing. I think it's not in our nature to perform as well. I think we're more of creators than performers. We haven't found that balance yet.
Yeah.
And we haven't cultivated any scene, or we aren't part of any particular scene. So
it seems to me that that's kind of becoming the norm with music nowadays. It's becoming less performative and just more like out there in the digital realm than anything. I mean, that's what I think, anyhow.
Yeah. No, it's a fair thing. Yeah. Fair thing to say, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not. No.
I think.
All right, how about another song? What do you guys say? Yeah, that's what I thought. This song is called Naked, also off of the new EP Ego, available on Bandcamp for $5, dude.
I pay dues and stained shoes, I'm footloose, the brain bruise. From bouncing off these walls in my head and these insane truths. Can't snooze, these angels of death will explain soon. The life moves was all a game. Season after season crosses. Working on some next level shit and I'm beating bosses. Yeah, my scoreboard diminished goals and deleting losses. I longing to get out, my parasites are eating off it. I never searched for salvation more than to sleep in coffins. Mr. Preacher, please get that Jesus piece up off him. All I wanted was a good girl and some decent offspring. Increase the value of peace no matter what peace is costing. That has forgotten what we are again.
It doesn't. There's so much music out there nowadays. However you get it, you can enjoy it on vinyl. You can enjoy it on your straight on your car radio. You know, in all your little satellite stations, and you can watch You guys just put out music videos. That's still happening. People are still creating little visions to go along with the songs here and there. So there's so many ways to take in music. It doesn't matter if you're out there performing, because a lot of people don't go to shows because of that reason. They can watch a show on YouTube live as it's happening. One of their friends is filming it, you know? So
yeah, exactly.
It's not the same experience. Don't get me, you know that. You've been to a real show. No. Yeah. But that's why most people will settle for that, though. It's weird. Most people will just go, yeah, my buddy's he's gonna call me. He's gonna put it up in the air and I'm gonna hear it. Have you guys ever been to some really cool shows, really cool festivals? Do you do any of that, or is it just kind of music is just subjective to you guys being buddies making music together?
Oh, you know, the
Kamasi.
Kamasi Washington and Thundercat were here last year, and that was nice. But you know, Stockholm is a very peculiar city because you know the Kamasi Washington and Thundercat show were like 3 days apart or something, and then it was completely dead for a year with the most interesting and new thing being Elton John or something. Huh. And then, then all of a sudden they throw in Lauryn Hill.
Wow.
So it's really hard to, to find any, consistency in going to shows because the selection it's slim pickings, so to speak.
Man, I had no idea.
Wow.
I had no idea. I
So-
thought Stockholm sounds really progressive.
So there's not like a whole lot of different music scenes there, at least like within the genre that you're working with. What's the scene like there in Stockholm?
Well, if we're talking hip hop or whatever brand we wanna put on it,
Yeah.
then no, I think if you start digging around, like electric music and techno and shit, you will find endless opportunities, and the same with punk rock and metal and things like this. But in our field, it's we spoke about it last time here that what the Swedish hip hop scene and mainly audience require is basically trap music these days.
Yeah.
And whatever
Same
the
here.
US is doing
6 months
on the
Same here in
mainstream.
America.
Yeah.
Same here in America.
Yeah, it's not just but that's what he
But
was saying
that's
last
just-
time.
that's-
It's 6 months behind, or you're saying is like you're doing what we're doing 6 months. But the thing is trap music hasn't gone away. Like it's in this deep state right now, and I feel sorry if Stockholm's just gonna stick to that. Stockholm, stop it! You get out of that right now if you're listening.
Listen to
Yeah,
chill,
yeah,
listen to
we're
chill hop.
trying to say that.
We want better.
Don't point at us.
Yeah. Donald Trump probably sticks up for trap music. We don't.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, listen, there's bad music in all genres. Okay.
God damn it.
But the country singers aren't any better.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No, nobody's helping anybody in this. All right, just man, I miss those days. That was almost an Obama impression. Damn it.
Almost. Very close to it.
Anyway, I'm not a political dude. This just happens because I have to listen to the radio at work sometimes, Like, and I'm like, stop, guys, turn it off. I don't care. I'm talking to ClutterCulture tonight. I don't want this shit in my head, man. Cluttering it up.
Seriously, man.
Anyway, so I've been. Have you guys been listening to any other cool podcasts by chance?
I'm listening to a bunch of weird stuff like philosophy and like metaphysical phenomenon and like weird shit. So
Like what?
music-wise, like currently I'm like studying history and like ancient Greece and stuff like that. So that's pretty boring. But otherwise, it's like more like participatory. What do you call it? Communities. I don't know if you heard about that. Like
I can picture it, but I'm probably really wrong. You can explain it if you like.
no, it's not. I don't dare to explain it. But I don't know if you.
Yeah, if you don't know, if you don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it wrong because it's some dark shit. But
Right.
yeah.
Oh wait. Is this like? Yeah, we have that here. Yeah. The government, the government stuff is totally lost on me. But I'm totally into like conspiracies and stuff, And I listen to like a lot of crime conspiracy stuff. So I'm really big into like all the mob police involvement, and like the Russia social media involvement. Like I'm into that stuff. Like it's more than a conspiracy, right? I mean, that shit's happening. So I just want to be on my toes about it. What's the news like for you guys in Stockholm? They just try to like sensationalize hurricanes and stuff, or is it mostly
Sensationalize and
sensationalism?
sensationalize. You were a 2-piece segment before the weather
Yeah.
one day, and that was that.
Nice. Yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah, my dad's name is Harvey, so I must have heard my dad's name like fucking 10,000 times last week, and I just like didn't talk to my dad. Like, just go away, man. And now, a song, We're Fine, even though we're not. I mean, that's not the name of the song, but it's called We're Fine. It's off the new EP. Enjoy.
I'm not doing as good as I used to, and I'm uselessly used to the usual. Not bothering at all about what you do. I live on an iCloud and you live in a YouTube. I'm playing blues tunes in my speakers through Bluetooth. Wouldn't say I'm nothing and there's no I in denial. Deny details, that's the railing. What I'm saying is we're fine. We're fine. I'm not doing as bad as I used to, and I'm uselessly used to the usual. Our time on this planet is crucial. I live on a night cloud and I'll invite you to. I might get some sight tonight if I imagine it. Once I had a sense of purpose but couldn't contaminate. I'm a mannequin of vanity, I know what panic is. I'm a resemblance of myself that could vanish quick. I was once imaginative magic, there was candles lit. Camping and cannabis, I just can't feel like a can of shit. I'm man, I know my man is semantics, cause I ain't standing this. Lazy advances will vanish if my mind is tampered with. I made an example of my chances, my advantages, my own fantasies, and I imagine like an analyst. I have never managed to abandon all my challenges. Rather cannons and banners before I wave a handkerchief. Leo said I'd be sentenced to 20 years of boredom. We're in prison in wards, whether it's pre or post-mortem. Told my fellow inmates we have to grab life by the scrotum. Better hold our passions top of the totem pole. As I told them my load slot like I hate to not be important. Or have a life compressed and gone to waste like a corset. I can see what's distorted. Lessons in life got my endorsements. Over the course of this course we'll learn that no one can afford it. We sorta never sorted out what's important. I'm not doing as good as I used to. Uselessly used to the usual. I'm not bothering at all about what you do. I live on an iCloud and you live in a YouTube. I'm not doing as bad as I used to. Uselessly used to the usual. Our time on this planet is crucial. I live on an iCloud and I'll invite you to. If I could fly in 55, I know it seems like I'm following streams. I'm Chucky B, I'm Tennessee, I'm Jimmy D, I'm following streams.
Leave me alone, Harvey. But I had some people staying, some families staying here from Houston, you know. So it didn't get real until that point. But above all, like I feel as though we were just highly distracted with hurricane stuff because apparently there was like a lot of stuff going down, like a lot of laws were being passed this week that we didn't know about, and we were like kind of baffled that there was like this meeting going on. They're like, this is great. There's a fucking hurricane. We'll just talk about that. This is so like good. We don't need to talk about what's going on behind these closed doors for sure.
Right.
We lost a lot of really cool shit this year, you guys. If Stockholm follows American trends, you guys, you're fucked, just like we are. We gotta like, well, the only hope we have is each other.
Feels that way, anyway.
Pretty much.
It's just me and Bo. It's just me and Bo. I'd never see him, so I'd be screwed if we had each other.
Yeah, right.
Like once every 2 weeks. Like,
Once every 2 weeks, it's like, oh man, yeah, don't rely on me for anything.
they're roommates though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been friends since middle school. Bo didn't get to be here for the last interview.
No, I wasn't.
Are you usually two of you interviewing guys, or?
Whenever we can, I mean, it's usually whenever I can get here, more or less.
Yeah, it is a variety show, so we try to have a variety of interviewers as well.
Yeah, I did an interview not too long ago with Viola Assembly. That was a lot of fun. I mean, I'd like it. It's engaging.
He's like I said, he went to sound school, whatever that is, sound engineering school. And
Yeah, I learned how to be a producer.
yeah, beep boop beep boop.
Bad. That's a goat. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's always going like, oh, what did they do with this? Like, what kind of mixers did they use? Like, how long did I'm going? Man, I don't fucking know. I like asked him what Lucio meant. Like I'm really curious about the imagery, and I definitely feel like the music is captivating. But I don't worry about it. I'm just thankful for it. It's kind of like Santa Claus, You're like Santa Claus, and the lyrics are the presents for me.
Yeah, well, Freddie grew out his beard to enforce that. So,
Well, if you're wondering what kind of mix I'm using, or I can tell you it's all in the box. So it's a pretty short answer. It's not that exciting at all.
What production software are you using?
I'm juggling between Ableton and FL Studio.
Oh yeah, those are typically.
I've been using FL Studio since middle school, so.
Yeah, I've messed with Ableton. I haven't really messed a whole lot with Fruity Loops, but it seems like a pretty capable DAW. I mean, especially for like different types of electronic music, hip hop, trap or whatever. Like it's definitely functional for that type of music.
Is it like upgradable?
It's very upgradable. Most all those DAWs are upgradable.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are definitely two DAWs that are perfect for the type of music y'all are into.
You just got to get your stuff upgraded before Kanye does.
Oh yeah, easily.
Kanye is out of the loop, so I'm sorry, I don't pay attention to him anymore.
He'll jack your Ableton
But
upgrade.
yeah, but I just see it as a tool, really. I don't think it matters what kind of DAW you're using, just what you do with it. But
That's true. It's kind of the same thing. Like it doesn't matter what type of instrument you have; it's the musician that matters. Like you can just. Like you can give like Carlos Santana like a shitty little guitar and he'll still make it sound awesome,
it's all up here.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the tool. This is the most important tool. So
Exactly.
the head for those
point
listening.
to you.
I can't point. God.
It's oh wait. Yeah, don't look at it's like looking at yourself in the mirror trying to do stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
So if it's not a common practice, Like I didn't realize I'd got so sunburned until I turned on the camera because I just don't look at myself.
Yeah, you look pretty red, man.
I didn't realize I was so pale until you turned on.
Yeah. That's why it was so fucking hot. Yeah,
Right.
I was painting an airstrip today.
Oh wow.
An airstrip.
Yep. With
Did you say?
yeah, with elastomeric, some really thick, sticky paint. It's nice.
The heavy duty stuff, huh?
With a brush, or
Oh, with a roller.
that must have taken some time.
Yeah,
Yeah, that seems like a big project.
it did, man.
Were you alone? Or
I was. It was the biggest numbers I'd ever seen. Like like it's weird to say that. I know. If you weren't there, guys, the numbers were so humbling. But
Wow.
that rolls off the tongue pretty sweet. So.
yeah.
Wasn't it though?
It's one of those mindless jobs though, so I'm very blessed in that because it's stencil work basically, and I download my podcasts and I just listen to tons of podcasts all day, just fill my head up with stories of.
What are you listening? What are you listening to?
Today I listened to a really interesting conversation with Joe Rogan, Brent Weinstein, and I don't know the other guy's name, but one's a Canadian professor, one is another professor. Both professors are are very prestigious. The one from America, Brent Weinstein, is actually like in hiding right now because he's been accused of basically forming like a white militia. He's been so affiliated with like this weird right alt thing. And so now his family's been threatened and everything, and so he's like in hiding almost. He's suing the school, and he was basically standing up for the school and standing up for just freedom in general. And then the students began like a student justice program thing, and they started anytime anybody was going to have a speech or a press conference, they would come in and completely critique every minute of it to call out like microaggressions and whatever it is. And basically it was just the conversation that these gentlemen were having months after all this stuff has gone down is basically how dangerous it is to affiliate Hitler and like romanticize that type of government, I guess. How dangerous it is to not only romanticize it, but also just put everything up to a contrast onto that, which is kind of what we're doing here in this country, not just politically, but just kind of out on the streets with all these protests and weird stuff like that. So it was really interesting to hear the people, this professor from Canada who's kind of dealing with that same thing, except they're doing it with gender over there. Their issue is at this point, if you disagree with somebody's sexuality or somebody's their gender,
I thought you said ginger.
Yeah. No, gingers still have no relief over there. It's just one of those things there. It's always going to be a running joke. But it's very bad to talk about transvestites. If you call them a trainee, that could be used as an aggression. It's considered some sort of terrorist act. Like it's like an individual terrorist act. I don't know. It's sort of weird. And so basically, it's the overall thing was to show that it's not just happening here in this country. It's rippling outward, and it's making it so that people are so far pushed to either side, and they're just trying to show that you need to have both sides and meet in the middle. Both sides do and can exist and always will exist, but that there's that middle ground that people are kind of lost on nowadays. It's sort of that pack mentality, in most cases. So it was a 4-hour conversation.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, it was a really long conversation for one podcast. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that.
For pending one number.
Yeah. We need more content, so let's just stay on this. No.
All right, very relevant. This song is called Waste My Life off of the Ego EP. Go buy it on Bandcamp. Listen to it on Spotify. Enjoy the shit out of it. And here's a little taste.
Is on the line, honey. You're so divine, honey. If you were mine, I wouldn't mind to waste my life, honey. All in due time, you will find that your light is what's keeping me alive. Hey, how you doing, Val? Honey, I can fool myself from being alone. I can lift you up to the top of the dome. I am mirrored in the light of what you do. You can hear my heartbeat just for you. I found myself in you, and for what it's worth, I'll hang on to your butt or I'll fall off the earth. My life is on the line, honey. You're so divine, honey. If you were mine, I wouldn't mind to waste my life, honey. All in due time, you will find that your light is what's keeping me alive. My life is on the line, honey. You're so divine, honey. If you were mine, I wouldn't mind to waste my life, honey. All in due time, you will find that your light is what's keeping me alive. Hey, how you doing, Val? Oh, hi. How are you? I'm so good.
But I also listened to another one. It's their company called Parcast, and this is kind of weird, totally different. But it's serial killers.
Oh, yeah,
and it's like the lives of serial killers, but they do sort of a psychoanalysis of like their raising, plus they have court testimony and they have all this weird stuff, and then it's basically like where they are now kind of thing, and it's super creepy, man. It's super creepy. I got kids, and this shit's getting weird. It's weird out there. So yeah, there's a lot of really good podcasts. I try to mix it up. I always do.
I mainly go for like movie podcasts, man. I don't bother myself with that sort of thing. Like we hate movies. I love that, Like last night I heard a podcast where they were talking about the movie Food Fight. Like that's always fun,
I've never seen it.
Oh, you got to see it. It's a terrible animated movie, and it's hilarious.
I'll let you watch it and review it, and then that's as far as I'll go with it.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things that you don't really want to get into. Like it's kind of a little bit of a phenomenon in the movie review scene, but yeah, I'm looking. That's going to be the second movie that I review on my podcast.
Nice.
So.
He's got his own. He also does. This guy helped me produce my album, by the way. He's.
Oh yeah.
That was kind of like his starting out, helping me out, kind of thing. And then he's later progressed to helping me do this. He's helped me with sound at live shows, and then now he's doing his own podcast too about movie reviews. So he's a movie buff. This one.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm one of those.
Cool. What's it called?
It's called the Collateral Cinema Movie Podcast.
Collateral Cinema Movie Podcast.
Yep, Collateral Cinema.
Cool.
Yeah, check it out. I'll have a new episode out here pretty soon. The first episode. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun. Very insightful, I hope.
Cool. I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, you guys, do you want to fill us in on your perspective? I'd really like to know where this thing's. I haven't heard the album, so give me a little bit of insight as to, before I hear it, what am I gonna be listening for? What's your message here? Don't spoil it, but tease me.
Okay, so teasing you.
Tease me.
Yeah, leave it with a bit of a cliffhanger then. Yeah, well, let's just say like this for the simplicity of not giving too much away. Let's just say that now with Unself we explored our identities in society and progressed to the introvert kind of identities, and the last part will speak of identity on its biggest scale.
Okay. All right.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. Man, dude, this has been so fun. And you know what else? I would like to have a listening party. I'd like to have some friends of ours who are musicians, very open-minded fellas who just love music. I've got a couch out in our studio and a bunch of extra chairs, and I was going to provide some snacks and that kind of stuff. And I was going to have everybody listen to all three of them, but sort of a reveal of the third part that night. So
that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And
awesome, we'll be there.
We'll be.
No, we could totally
right around the corner,
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
Get on a plane. But I just want to do something to where it's more interactive. You're trying to build a fan base and you're not playing shows. This might be a really cool medium where we have people we build.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're down. Of course.
Yeah, and we were thinking that we do like last time, and we'll, as soon as the album is done, we'll send it out to you. So so you guys get it before it goes on release.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And I end up just buying it anyway because I love you guys and I want you.
Yeah,
we really appreciate it, but
got to support the musicians, man. Got to give them some.
It's not just you guys either. I do that to all the bands that are on here because $5, $7, even $10. It's you put way more work into that than that. And I like I said, I got a mindless job. The most that happens to me is I get sunburnt. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm gonna put that money into some work elsewhere. It's kind of like a tip. That's my tip, you guys. I know the service was free.
It's really appreciated.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure, man.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Well, it's been great talking to you.
You too.
As
Thanks,
always.
man.
Yeah, it's good meeting you guys. I mean, I wasn't here for the last interview, but it's good to talk to y'all. And I do like what y'all guys are doing. Like your music is, the production is tight. You know, the lyrics are on point. It's like I like it, man. Like I look forward to the next EP.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Where can I check out your stuff?
I'm gonna have I'm gonna have it on SoundCloud at first, but hopefully I'll be able to get it on iTunes and maybe something like Stitcher or Libsyn or something like that. Whatever podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, it'll eventually be available.
SoundCloud. And
Yeah,
stuff.
SoundCloud and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send you guys some links.
Okay, yeah, do that.
Cool. I'll send you some. I know you may not be into some of the stuff I was talking about, but I actually do know a few podcasts you might be into based on what you told me you're listening to with your ancient Greece and your whatnots. I'll
No,
send
it
you
was
some-
like religion for atheists, some bullshit. I don't know. Forget
Okay.
about that. It's-
Well, it'll be more. It'll be more comedy
but I was
driven.
thinking about the music
Oh yeah.
because you said you were an engineer, and
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You want to hear my music? The stuff he made for me?
Yeah, you should definitely. You should
yeah,
definitely-
that too, both of you, of course.
I don't think you don't make stuff on your own, do you?
I don't really make stuff on my own. I'm more of like just a producer that gets with bands and produces their album, you know, kind of traditional wise. You know, I used to make some beats back in the day, man, but I'd have to like go and like dig them out from my personal stash, you know. But
I like to hear those.
yeah, oh, you would love some of the stuff I have.
But yeah, I'll send you links
archived.
to the stuff that Bo produced of ours for sure. There's some of it.
Definitely.
I think there's some of it on. I have all of it on SoundCloud for free, so I'll send you that playlist for sure. You guys take care and have a great day.
You too.
All right, man.
Talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we
Take
will.
care, bro.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all take care, man.
See you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Yeah. So that's it. That was our talk with ClutterCulture. Love those guys, man. I truly do. Can you hear it in my voice? They're just a breath of fresh air coming from a country I know nothing about, and I'm because I'm an ignorant American who just eats whatever is shoveled into my head. Can you sense the bitterness? Can you guys sense that? I hope so. I just needed to talk to somebody, and I figure I don't know most of you people, so I'm just gonna tell you. And you know, much like how it always goes, I probably won't get any feedback. So it's basically just me ranting into a couple of microphones in a corner of a room. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. I'm glad that was like therapy for me. It was good to get back on the podcast, shoot, slide down, and land in a pile of joy. That was really refreshing. I'm actually going to close this episode out with one more ClutterCulture song. It's called Fairies. Tell It to the Fairies. It's a good one. It's really good. I hope you guys liked all the other songs. If you like it and you want to support them, of course, I suggested many times, go to Bandcamp, go to iTunes, listen to them on Spotify, add them to your playlist. I've got them added to the SoundCloud playlist. If you guys want to check out my Spotify channel, it's TBE Variety Show. I put together a ton of bands that have helped us out and that we've booked and we just like in general. They're on there. Quite a few hours of music, so go check that out. TBE Variety Show. And the Spotify thing. I'm kind of new to Spotify, so I don't really know. I mostly just breeze through Bandcamp because I feel like that's how I can really support artists. If you guys want to support our podcast financially, there are a few rewards, and I'm working towards getting some sort of merchandise to make it more worth your while. But you can go to our Patreon, TBE Variety Show. Actually, if you just go to patreon.com and type in Trial by Error Variety Show, it'll take you right to it. We have 0 supporters. I really, I'm. That's kind of like a lost cause, I feel like, but it's out there. You know, it's still there for anybody that gets a hair up their ass and wants to do something, help make this thing continue. Let's see. Announcements. I don't have any. Here's my announcement. I got off social media, except for Instagram, because pictures say a lot, and I'm a photographer. But I got off Facebook. I have no longer a presence on there. I'm sorry. To the bands that are like, what? You said you were going to promote us. It wasn't working. Nobody interacts and engages with me on Facebook for some reason. And I feel like I get a little bit of interaction on Instagram. I the pictures, they do say a lot, and I can still tag bands in them and send people their way. So that helps. We still have a page up on Facebook. If you want to add to it, feel free to add your show to it. It's got like 400 something followers. Feel free to invite your friends to it. But I got off Facebook, and I have not gone back since. It feels really good to be off of that. I don't use Twitter anymore. There's like 800 followers on that. You feel free to tag me and stuff. I don't know. I don't feel like it's doing any good. When I feel like it does good, I'll go back. If you can give me another site that's going to help bands that you feel like actually helps, I'll explore that. But as it stands, it all feels like bullshit, man. So I'm off of it, and I suggest you do the same and start talking to people close to you and start making plans. Go back to those days. Love everybody that supports us. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening once again. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope that you do good stuff for the people around you, and I hope that you don't become a negative presence, and just try your hardest to be optimistic, and just remember that tomorrow is a new day. Sleep on it like an angry letter, and wake up in the morning and rip it up. Something like that. I don't know. That's it. That does it. I'm gonna like I said, I'm going to lead out with this ClutterCulture song. So you guys take care of one another and follow the golden rule.
The more confident I grow, the more I grow radical. What's God got to do with it? He can go damn it all. God, a man in my art, hence we can know man in God. With my God complex, I became megalomaniacal. Yes, it surely takes a life to be alive. I'll be born again, but first I need to die. Yes, it surely takes a life to be alive. Caught in a thoughtless glitch, brought through this godless pit. God, I just called it quits. Got rid of all the grips. Fuck it, I hardly miss. Partners I parted with, parts that I parted with. My heart got abolished since a kid with an artist's wish. Drew under walls and shit with a mom that saw all of it. Shock on my palms and wrists. She asked what art is this? Make sure you garden it. Garden your growth and make sure that you water it. Yes, it surely takes a lot to be alive. I'll be born again, but first I need to die. Yes, it surely takes a lot to be alive. I'm lighting up while I'm walking into the light. Yes, it surely takes a lot to be alive. I'll be born again, but first I need to die. Yes, it surely takes a lot to be alive. I'm lighting up. I used to ask mom where I came from. Now mom is asking me where I'm going. I got my big boy shoes on. I just came home to see what home has grown to be. I was a lonely tree, turn over boldy leaves. I'm always sowing seeds of wisdom I go to reap. All I can sow it seems, this is my only need. My youth has passed me by, I moved on as a child. My age got amplified, I asked my mama why. She said there's no answers right, there's no way to answer life. Just do some sanctions like anchors on my ankles tight. Hope to be sanctified, I got my chance to find. I couldn't stand the lies, my way to bend the lines. Been to the end of time, isn't the fabric right? It depends on why, that I have no sense of I. Yes, it surely takes a lot to be alive. I'll be born again, but